Hey guys, it's Katie. Thanks so much for joining me. Today I'm going to be doing my February favorites, all the stuff I've been loving and using in the month of February. A lot of it's actually from the drugstore, and I don't know about you, but I love a good drugstore find, and let me go ahead and get into it. So the first thing is this sponge by EcoTools, and I apologize, it is dirty because I used it this morning. So this is their version of a beauty blender, beauty sponge type thing. This actually comes in a set of two, so you get a little set like this. You've got a smaller one, which is kind of a medium size. I think it's a little bit bigger than like the mini beauty blender. And then you've got the larger size. And this, when it's wet, actually expands to a really good size. I've really been loving this because you get a really large end here, which is great for quickly, dabbing in your makeup. And then this side right here, I think is fantastic for baking along your jaw, and just cleaning up contour. I know a lot of people blend out their under eye concealer with a flat side like this. I don't do that, but I have other uses for that flat side. As far as the softness of the sponge goes, like a beauty blender is so soft. Even when it is dry, it's very pliable. And this is kind of like somewhere in between a beauty blender and maybe like a Real Technique sponge, because I think the Real Technique sponge, unless it is really wet and then wrung out and all that stuff, it's pretty firm. This still has a lot of give to it even when it's dry, so you could use this dry to get more coverage if you're using some kind of like cream foundation or something like that. But I've just really been loving this. It's a fantastic deal because you get two in the pack. I don't use this as often, but this has just been something I've used every day this month. Okay, so the next thing is something that was actually in my full face of first impressions video. It is the Wet n Wild MegaCushion cushion highlighter, and it's this beautiful pearlescent pink. It's like a liquid in the cushion, but then when I apply it over powder, it does not disrupt anything underneath. Like, it applies beautifully and then sets to a powder over everything. It doesn't disrupt anything underneath, doesn't go patchy. And actually, I really like the cushion to apply it. You could probably use a brush, but I really like the cushion. I feel like it pats it in and just kind of makes everything seamless and really makes it melt into your skin. So the cushion in this, I feel like, it actually makes a difference. In other words, like a lot of cushion products, you're like, does that really do anything? This one I think actually does, so I've been loving this. Okay, so this next thing is from Covergirl, and I have not used Covergirl products in a really long time. I do like their mascaras, but as far as face products go, it has been years and years. But I've heard good things about the Covergirl Advanced Radiance Powder, and this is really good. What I love to use it for is like setting underneath the eyes and using around my drier areas. I'll still bake like down the center of my face and on my nose where I get really oily during the day, and where things can start to like, cake around my nose or in my smile lines or settle there. But this is fantastic for dry skin. It sets everything beautifully. It's almost like a cross between a baked powder and like just a regular pressed powder that is supposed to minimize pores. It's the weirdest thing. It does minimize texture. It doesn't suck all the life out of your face, in other words. So as you can see, I've already hit pan on this. I've used it like non-stop this month. Especially for under the eyes, it's really become my favorite go-to setting powder if I don't have to like correct any really dark circles underneath, because throughout the day, toward the end of the day, it doesn't get that dry look, it doesn't get crepey, yet it still sets everything and keeps it in place. So really loving this. Okay, up next is something from Milani, and it is their Prime Light Face Primer. This is kind of like a backlight primer, like the Becca Backlight Primer. It's supposed to illuminate, give you that lit from within glow. It's got kind of like a opalescent sheen to it. You could use it on a lot of different skin tones, probably any skin tone really. It doesn't really have color, but it gives you a really beautiful glow. So I actually like using this to mix in with foundation. I also use it just as a straight primer under foundation, but I really like to mix it in with some more like long wear matte type foundations. It doesn't mess with that, like they're still long wearing, it doesn't thin them out or anything, but it does give them kind of a glow that lasts, which I have been loving. It is oil free. It says it's pore minimizing. I don't know that it's pore minimizing, but for being a luminous primer, it definitely does not accentuate the pores. So that is what I love about it as well, because I have the issue of texture and large pores right around here, where I would love some glow, but then all you see is texture. It bugs me so badly. This underneath my foundation kind of gives me that like really healthy glowy look without all the texture. So I have been absolutely loving this month. The next thing is by Jordana, and this is the Sculpt and Glow Creamy Contour Stick. This is in the shade 01 Light. It is just your average contour stick that you draw the lines on, blend it out. What I love about this one is the color. So it's like a gray-ish, but it still has a little bit of brown. I love how subtly it goes on. For me, as a fair person, it can be really hard to find a contour color that looks natural. It has to be kind of a gray undertone, like kind of taupey. But then if it's too gray, you look sick. And it also looks very, very obvious because it's so cool. This has just the right amount of warmth, I think, for my skin tone, and it blends out really, really nicely. It doesn't disrupt any of the foundation underneath. Like, it doesn't take much blending, in other words. You don't have to sit there and blend and then blend all your foundation away. Like, it really goes on smoothly and then blends away just as smoothly. And I think I'm getting more into the cream contour. Like, it's easier for me to make that look natural. If it's too heavy, you just add a little more powder on top, or it's easier, I think, to clean it up with baking than a powder contour is, for me anyway. So I've really, really been loving that this month. So the next product I'm sure you have heard everybody and their mama talk about on YouTube, and it's because they're so darn good. It is the Wet n Wild Liquid Catsuit Liquid Lipstick. Okay, so I've got the colors Rebel Rose here and Nudist Peach. Nudist Peach is just a peachy nude, really, and it's absolutely beautiful. Rebel Rose is more of a kind of dusty with a tint of brown rose color that is just really, really cool and really, really flattering. So I have worn these and put them on in the morning, eaten meals while I've had them on, and then by the end of the day, I don't have any of like that crusty stuff around my mouth. It's worn away a little bit in the middle if I haven't touched up. But you can touch up. That's the other thing. You can touch up with these and they don't get gunky and thick and then refuse to dry once you've put another layer on. The formula on these is absolutely amazing, and actually sometimes I mix these two together to get kind of like just a darker nude color. They blend beautifully, and you can do that. You can layer without them getting all goopy. They have a thinner formula initially when you first put them on. Again, they last all day, literally all day long. I mean, even up against a really high-end liquid lipsticks, these hold their own. So something from Physicians Formula is the new Butter Blush. So in my full face of first impressions video, I tried the color, this is the Natural Glow. I tried the Plum Glow, and I think that color was just too neutral. It didn't show up at all, and it was like just almost a really faint brown. It wasn't pretty on me, and it took forever to build up and build up. So this color I almost didn't get, because looking at it in the pan, it kind of looks like Milani's Luminoso, their baked blush. And I thought, I've already got Luminoso. This looks like pretty much the exact same thing. Well, not really. So Luminoso is a bit more peach toned. This is a bit more golden, but Luminoso is way more pigmented. So usually I would be disappointed by how little pigment this has, which was my gripe with the other color that I tried. But actually, what I use this for is almost like an all over finishing powder, just where I want it. It goes on so light, it does not look like you've added any powder. So I go ahead and set my face with like my regular powder or the Covergirl Advanced Radiance. And then I go in with this and put it on my forehead. I put it basically like all over my cheek area and a little bit on my chin, a little bit on the tip of my nose if I want to, almost like a highlighter, but more liberally. At first, if I had wanted this just for a blush, I probably would have been really disappointed, but this gives you the most beautiful glow to your skin that you really can't even tell, you know, if it's highlight or if it's blush. Like, it's just so subtle, it's beautiful. But if you are looking for a really pigmented blush, this is not it. Okay, so the next thing is also a blush, but this one is from Tarte. And you know how when you have a Sephora account, you get your birthday gift? Well, this year, the birthday gift was something from Tarte. It was like a little liquid lipstick and a blush. And at first when I saw the blush, I was like, meh, really? That's not even gonna show up. I was so disappointed. And I swatched it on the back of my hand and I still didn't think anything. But I thought, you know, it's a free blush, I'm gonna try it. So I tried it out and I was absolutely in love. I don't know what it is. It goes on completely differently onto your face than it does onto like a swatch or even in the pan. So I accidentally dropped that on my floor and broke it. Well, I was so disappointed because I thought it was just a limited edition, but actually they came out with the color that you could buy in a full size. And I absolutely love this formula from Tarte, the 12-hour Amazonian clay blushes. I think that they go on beautifully. They really do last a good 12 hours. They don't fade or go patchy. And so I had to get this color and I have just been using it like crazy. I love it. So the next thing is a base coat, and this is by 100% Pure, and it is their Horsetail base coat. As you can see from how empty this bottle is, I have been using this non-stop. I almost always have my nails painted, and so I literally have been using this all the time. So Horsetail is a plant or herb, I believe, that is supposed to strengthen and heal your nails, which honestly I do think has been working because I have nails that split horribly, and I feel like this has helped with that. Like, I feel like they have been somewhat strengthened. It keeps my nails from turning yellow, from getting stained, and it makes the nail polish go on smoothly, just like every other, you know, good base coat should. It has kind of like almost a sticky quality to it that when you put the color on, it really grabs it and doesn't run all over your nail. So the reason I really love this though, and the reason I got it really, is because it's free of 5 of the most common carcinogenic ingredients that are in nail polishes. If you've ever seen 5 free or 6 free, and then some are even like 9 free, they're basically free of the cancer causing ingredients in nail polishes that are really common and through a lot of brands. So what I really loved about this one though is that it's also TPHP free. So TPHP is a ingredient that is added into a lot of nail polishes that actually disrupts your hormones. If you're a woman, you know there's a delicate balance. And then if your hormones, you know, whether it be that time of the month, whether you're pregnant, whatever, if those get out of whack, you feel like a crazy person. So I don't want my hormones disrupted. So my thinking was, if this could create a barrier, that being the base coat, it could kind of like protect me from the other crap that's in some of the other nail polishes that I use. I like the other nail polishes because they last so long and I don't have to polish my nails every day. But if it's disrupting my hormones, like, that's not good. You know, hormone fluctuations can actually cause breast cancer later on. So it's just something that I would really love to avoid, and I'm hoping that by using this, it's just one more thing toward healthy living. So my last favorite is a TV show, which is Big Little Lies on HBO. It's based on a book by Leanne or Lane, I'm actually not sure how to pronounce it, Moriarty. And I have actually read one of her other books that is fantastic called The Husband's Secret. This show is basically like the Real Housewives of the OC with a murder mystery thrown in. All her books usually have a really fantastic twist and there's a murder mystery. Well, this one is basically like the Real Housewives of the OC, but with the murder mystery thrown in there. Like, it is great. It's kind of scandalous. There is some language and nudity. This, you know, the story is kind of far-fetched, but it's like, you know, people like this. That's what makes it so good, really. It's got Reese Witherspoon, Nicole Kidman, Shailene Woodley, like really good cast. Alexander Skarsgård is in it. It's definitely a guilty pleasure, but it is a fantastic series so far. There's only a couple episodes, and I can't wait for the rest. So that's it for my February favorites. Thank you so much for watching. I will link everything in the description box below that I talked about, and let me know in the comments which you have been loving this February. Anything I should be trying, anything I should be watching, let me know, and I'll see you later. Bye.